Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In this video, I will be participating in Sassy Coloring's mid-year freakout tag. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, I actually had seen this on Michaela Renee's and Potato Princess's channel first, and then I went and watched Sassy Coloring, and she had started a tag, I believe a few weeks ago, regarding a mid-year freakout, which I believe is something that was started or occurs in the booktube community. So she has sort of made this into something for the coloring book community, and I really liked the question, so I thought I would participate. Okay, so question number one, I'll go ahead and link all of the channels that I've mentioned in the description box below, as well as the people I'll be tagging at the end of the video. But for question number one, it asks, what is the best picture you've colored so far in 2021? Now, there's actually two. Now, my first initial thought was from Moments Wholly for Yourself by Opal, and it was this one here. I am inordinately fond and proud of this picture, and I'm proud of it because even though there's aspects of it I don't like, I still struggle with hair. The book was done in washi tape, which is a new method for me. I love how the trees and everything came out. I love how her jumper and her skirt really looks. I mean, I love this picture so much. So even though there are some things that aren't as nice as I'd like them, as soon as I read that question, I immediately thought of this picture. However, there's one that I recently completed in a butter-color with my friend Emma that I am quite fond of as well. And that's this one here. This is in Hannah Carlson's, I think, Tales of the Forest Kingdom or something like that. And this one here. Now, I was totally channeling my Coloring with K vibes because there is so much going on with this page by way of there's distress ink in the background. I use Inktense, I use pencils. Well, let's see, I wrote it down. Distress ink, Inktense, metallic gel, Tombow, and then I also use some Ganzai paint to flick all the things there. And I don't like bugs. In fact, I did not realize this bug had eyes until I got to that section, and I was totally freaked out. Not a fan of bugs. But I love how this page looks. Even though it looks like the bug is pooping out stars, I love it. I love this page just because it was completely out of my comfort zone, used some materials that I've had that I haven't used in quite some time, and this is kind of what I wanted, and I could not be more pleased with this picture. So those are my two favorite pictures for this year so far. Question number two is, what is your most colored book of 2021? And so it has to be this one right here. And that's because they are rather quick colors. This is Color by Colors, Stained Glass Mandala by Kira Shishneva. And this is the only mandala book that I currently will be keeping in my arsenal. I actually do have another one, and I will be either donating it or gifting it because I'm not a huge fan of mandalas. I know some people use it to de-stress, but they don't do that for me. I think it's the repetition, to be perfectly honest. And so that's what I've done, and this has the most colored in. This one and one I'll be showing you a little bit later on is what I hope to finish by the end of the year. I have been doing some butter colors with Crafting with Christine here, and I think her plan is also to be finished with this book by the end of the year. So it's really good that we can work together on that so that we can both get this out of our arsenal. Question number three is newly released coloring book that you have not colored in yet, but want to. So to be perfectly honest, because I'm doing my coloring book collection videos, I have been going through everything that I currently have in my arsenal, and this is the only coloring book that I have not started something in out of all of the ones in my arsenal, which is, it's pretty trippy to me. Well, all of the ones that I've received from January through June. I've received some recently that I just haven't had a chance in. Now, this might look a little weird to you, but when I got this, it was misprinted on the cover. So this is supposed to be on the front. This is supposed to be on the back, but the pages themselves are perfectly fine. And because it's so funny to me, I'm not going to send this back. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this coloring book other than they wrote on her face. So this is, and I don't know that it was actually released in 2021, but it's, like I said, the only one that I have not started something in. So I thought it would fit the tag. I'll leave this here because the next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And I believe the one I'm most interested in as of right now is Mythographic, the new one that comes out next month in August, because as far as I know, it is a new artist to the Mythographic series. And so I'm quite intrigued to see what that artist will bring to the table. And I've already pre-ordered it on Amazon, so I'm hoping I get it as soon as possible whenever it's available. But yeah, that's the one I'm interested in so far, because I did get the Dutch or the Swedish, I'm not sure what that language is, for the Tales of the Forest Kingdom. I'm not going to get the American version. I believe Rita Berman is coming out with a new one. I think I saw something on Book Depository, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get it. I am waiting for the summer one. I think that's the one I ordered. And I want to see how I like that before I order anything new. You guys know I have a very small space and I'm not a completist, so I don't need to complete a person's collection, but if it's a style that I like, then I might get that. And I mean, the thing with new releases is even if you don't get it on the first day, it should be available like for Christmas. So that's what I'm looking for the remaining part of this year. Question number 5 is favorite new artist or publishing company that you discovered in 2021. Well, I only rediscovered coloring as an adult in January of 2021. So pretty much all of them, other than Joanna Basford, who I've known about for some years, could fit that. But I think Erie is probably my favorite new discovery, to the point that she's one of 3 artists that I will have or have their complete sets, because I just love that there is so much variance in her coloring books, by way of if you're feeling like coloring one thing or another between the various books that she has, you absolutely have that ability to. And I love her work. I love the regular books. I love the 2 like travel and festival books, and I love the tracing books. You have no idea how much I enjoy those. But Erie is the one that is my most favorite of the artists that I've discovered for this year. The next question is, did you try any new coloring techniques this year? And yes, so 2 of the techniques that I have tried that, to be honest, I wasn't even aware of, was I love using distress ink as a background. I've got actually quite a few colors. I might have gone a little nuts for July because it's my birthday month, and if you can't gift yourself with things every single month, then when can you? But the other thing I absolutely love are the Derwent Inktense pencils, and they're one of the only 2 things I've actually swatched out. I just took some pages from the back of some of the Joanna Basford coloring books just to use as tester pages, just because when you get into some of these, the inky colors, the barrels look all the same. Now, I know you should not, well, I know most people don't base their coloring based on either the tipped ends or the barrel of the pencil itself, but I do. I don't like swatching. I'm not going to do it. So I've got to trust that whatever I'm picking kind of is the color, and if it's not, oh well, I'll deal. But this is the only one I've swatched, but I really, really enjoy my Inktense, and I really, really enjoy Distress Ink. But to be honest, prior to January 2021, I really wasn't aware that there was so many different tools and mediums that could be used in coloring books. My exposure prior to that had been Crayola pencils and fine liners, but the way that I color and the kind of pages that I like, which are heavily detailed, those two mediums to me just don't work because I don't get the color payoff that I want. So discovering Prismas and Brut Funners and Inktense and Distress ink really helps me feel accomplished and productive because I can finish pages with all of these different mediums that I have at my disposal. So I've really been enjoying this hobby these last few months. The next question is, what book do you want to finish the most this year? It actually is twofold. It's this one right here, which is Stained Glass Mandala, Color by Colors by Kira Shishneva, and the Color by Colors Women's World, also by Kira Shishneva. And again, I've discovered that color by numbers, color by colors, mandalas are just not where my interest lies. If I have an hour or two worth of coloring, then because my hands hurt, then these are not going to be the books that I gravitate towards. However, this one I actually finished this week because I'm going to take this to work, and this took 2 lunch hours to do. I ate lunch for part of my lunch hour, and then I finished this on the other part. And I actually really like keeping white space on here. This was done with Mondo Llama, the Target brand alcohol markers, and I think she looks really sweet. And so I'm going to take this back to work. It's rather thin, not too heavy, because I need to be aware of, what I am carrying with me, because I will be taking the bus eventually in life. And then I think I'm also going to take this one to work, although this is actually a quicker color than this one is. And again, I do enjoy keeping white space on the page because I think it makes all of the other things pop a lot more. And then lately I have been into changing what is asked for and just doing my own thing. And I mean, it's my coloring book. I can do what I want. But this one, I am doing a buddy color with Crafting with Christy. I mentioned that earlier today. So these are the ones I want to finish just so that I know, yes, I'm done with these. And then I do not think I'll be buying any more of these type of books just because there's so many other books that I prefer. The next question is there any coloring book that you bought this year that you regret? Now, this is just a placeholder, so you're just not looking at an empty desk. I'm glad that I bought this and I will be working in this. I do have some that I do regret buying, but I actually will be talking about that in the final video of my coloring book collection. Just be aware that'll be more fully answered in that video. But yes, there are some that I do regret buying. And the final question in this tag is, if you could recommend any coloring book that was released this year, what would it be? And I had to think about that. And I think I would recommend Joanna Basford. And I would recommend this one in particular because this did seem to diverge from some of her other styles. World of Flowers has some elements of this, but where this is diverging is it isn't all a million different leaves. And there are some pages that are like this that if you're into mandalas, you can see. Or if you're interested in mandalas, you could see, am I interested in the repetition? There are pages like this where it seems overwhelming, but if you just tackle the little vignette right here, then less so, and you get all of your nature botanical leaf fix that you want. You've got really detailed pages like this that can be overwhelming or can be exciting. For some, I know it's very overwhelming. Where do you start? There's so many leaves. What are you going to do? And then there's some for like me and Poet that look at this and like, oh, if only I didn't have to work full time. But then you've got simpler pictures of architecture. You've got whimsical pictures. You've got another, there's actually quite a few of these pages where there's just little elements on the page that is very easy to tackle. And so you can really get different vibes, different feels. For some people, this might be just what they need because it's not a lot going on the page. It's a very simple coloring. For others, this is a challenge because, okay, I'm going to do an entire background of galaxy or sunset or sunrise. Maybe I'll draw in a mountainscape or a forest or something. And so it really opens up the imagination to you focus on what's on the page, or that is just one element of what you can bring to the table. And because of that, because the book is so varied, I think there is something available for everyone. Plus, this is starting to show up in stores, and I say that because I've only started seeing this in Walmart and Target here in Hawaii, and this book has been out since March. So if it's showing up in stores in Hawaii, I'm pretty sure it's showing up in stores for you. This has been translated into a variety of languages just based on what I see online. And so this, I think, is an easily accessible book. It does have really good paper, so it can take most mediums, including marker, just not alcohol markers. It can take paints, it can take pencils. And so I think if you are starting, this might be something by way of accessibility, affordability, and just the scope of it would really be beneficial if you're just not sure what you're interested in. Because once you have one of her books, you will know pretty quickly, yep, that's what I'm into, or nope, never again. I think it's that way with her books. But this one, because it is such amalgamation of just various styles and detailedness, that's a made-up word, but we're going to go with it. I think this would be a great one to recommend to new people. Now, I'm recommending her book because I truly feel it's good. It's not because we share a same first name, and it's certainly not because I work for her. We've never met, but I am older, so I had the name first. I want to make that clear. But that is that's it for this tag. There are 10 questions. I will link those below if you're interested in this. And I will tag my perpetual butter colors. And so I'm tagging Crafting with Christy, Poet Spice Biblio something. She's Poet Spice. I don't know her by any other name. Emma Colors 2020 and Elm Colors, which is Erica. I'm tagging them if hopefully they're interested in doing this as well. Anyone that I've linked that has a channel, go ahead and check them out below. And as always, aloha.